Yes. Oh man, I had him. Yes. I'm getting so good at this. Oh, a lot of practice helps. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, hey boys and girls. Sorry, I didn't realize you were there already. I'm just busy practicing my fishing. Because I heard today we have an exciting story and it involves a fish. And I know when it involves a fish that there's probably some fishermen fishing for the fish. That's a lot of fishness in that sentence. So, I thought I'd practice fishing. And tell you a secret, I'm getting pretty good. Oh man! Just when I thought I was getting good. Yes! Come on. Yes! Well, I suppose that's enough practicing for right now. I'll practice some later. I kind of want to get to our story because I heard it's a good one. So, oh man! I have a note here, boys and girls, that says, sorry, this story isn't about fishermen catching fish. It's actually about a fish that catches a person? Whoa! That kind of sounds kind of funny, doesn't it? But I think we'll read the story because I want to learn about this. So, there is a story about a fish. A big fish. A great big fish. And there isn't a lot of info about this fish. So we don't know how old this fish is. We don't really know what color this fish is. We don't even know if this fish has a name. But for the sake of our story, we're just going to pretend that the fish's name is Charlotte. So, one evening, Charlotte was out swimming in some nice, cool water, playing with her friends, having lots of fun, and eating and even having some supper, when all of a sudden, Charlotte hears her name being called. Charlotte, Charlotte, Charlotte. And she listens. That's not a fish calling my name. That's God. So she answers, yes, God. And God tells Charlotte that she needs to swim into a storm and that there is a ship trapped in this storm and she needs to go find it. Now, Charlotte's not a fan of storms at all. So she was a little scared and confused about why this was happening. But she knew she had to trust God. So she decided, oh, I better go. So she did. But then she was swimming and she's like, wait, did he say a boat? Where there's a boat, there's people. And where there's people, there's a net. And what happens with the net? I get caught. And all of a sudden, I am supper on somebody's table. And she was thinking, I don't know if I want to go over there now. I really don't want to be supper. But she remembered that God told her she had to go over there. So she decided to trust God and knew she had to obey God. So she swam over there. It took her a little while to get over there and locate the boat. But when she did, she was surprised by what she saw. Because she went over to the boat and she was looking, and all of a sudden, here comes this man falling out of the boat. In fact, he was tossed out of the boat. She was so confused. What is going on? And all of a sudden, she hears God say, Charlotte, grab him. Really? Okay. So Charlotte went and she grabbed the man, even though she had no idea what was going on. And besides, humans aren't really her thing. They don't taste very well. She doesn't like to eat them. But she knew that she had to obey God. And she knew that God told her that she had to save this man and keep him safe inside her. So she listened. And Charlotte had this man inside of her for 3 days and 3 nights. That is a long time to be inside of a fish, don't you think? Whew, I know I wouldn't want to be inside of a fish that long. Just think of the smells, and maybe there's some weird sounds. Whew, that has to be strange. But Charlotte was listening, and every once in a while, she decided, I think I hear him praying. I wonder what he's talking to God about. But she was just glad he was talking to God. It made her really happy. And at the end of the 3 days and nights, God told her that she had to spit him out. So she did. And she was very happy to let this man out. And she decided that the man was probably happy to get out of her as well. And God said thank you to Charlotte, and that her obedience saved many lives. And after it was done, Charlotte swam back out to sea. Charlotte showed us that God speaks to us and that we need to listen and obey him. The man inside of her was Jonah, and he did not listen to God right away. In fact, he disobeyed God. So God had to remind him that it was important to listen to him and obey. God could have let Jonah drown when the men tossed him off the boat, but he didn't. He decided to save him and have the fish keep him safe for 3 days and 3 nights, while Jonah repented and asked God forgiveness for what he did and said that he will listen and obey God from now on. Because God needed Jonah to go to the town of Nineveh. And Nineveh was a town full of really bad people. And they were starting to make a lot of really bad choices. And God needed Jonah to go and tell them that he was going to punish them for all of their wickedness. But just like Jonah repented and was sorry that he did not listen to God, the people of Nineveh also repented, and God saved them and did not send a punishment. So, boys and girls, just like in our story, we need to remember that no matter what the situation and what God asks us to do, we have to trust God and obey him, and know and listen to what he's saying and know that he will keep us safe. So when God tells us to trust him, just like he did with Charlotte the fish, we need to follow her example and listen, and not like Jonah and disobey. Isn't this a great lesson? Now, before we go over another story, let's just go over our memory verse for the week, shall we? Do you boys and girls think that you can repeat the memory verse without me showing you first? Let's try. You ready? I'll say go. I'll count to 3 and say go. And when I do, let me hear you say it. You ready? 1, 2, 3, go. That was really good. I heard some of you say it all the way through. That is so great. And I know some of you probably are still practicing, and that's okay, because practice makes perfect. Sometimes. Just like my fish. I don't know if perfect's going to come, but I'm definitely going to get better at it. So, let's just repeat this memory verse together, shall we? Lord, show me your ways. Teach me how to follow you. Psalm 25, verse 4. So, now, let's just read the story of Jonah, shall we? So we can learn from him how he disobeyed God, but then he asked for forgiveness and told God that he was sorry, and God forgave him. And then he listened and obeyed. So, Jonah told people about God. One day, God told Jonah to go on a trip. God said, the people in Nineveh are doing bad things. Please go there and talk to them. Jonah was not happy. He did not want to go, so he ran away. Jonah talked to some men. Please, let me sail away with you. The boat went out to sea. It went right into a storm, The wind blew and blew. The waves went up and down, up and down. The men were scared. "Where's Jonah?" they called. Jonah was taking a nap. "Get up, Jonah," they said. "We are in big trouble. Say a prayer for us." "I'm the problem," said Jonah. "God is upset that I ran away from him," Jonah said. "He wants me to go back. He wants me to go to Nineveh." "How do we stop the storm?" asked the men. Jonah said, "You must throw me into the water." So the men tossed Jonah into the water. The storm stopped, and the sea was calm. But up from the water swam a big fish. The fish swallowed Jonah. Jonah sat in the big fish for 3 days and 3 nights. "I am so sorry I ran away. Thank you for saving me," said Jonah. Then God said, "Big fish, put Jonah back on dry land." God said, "Jonah, go to Nineveh. Tell the people to stop doing bad things." This time, Jonah was brave, and he knew that God was with him. Jonah went to talk to the people of Nineveh. Jonah told the people, "Stop doing bad things." And they listened to Jonah. God forgave Jonah. God forgave the people. And he loves all his people. So thanks for joining me again this week, boys and girls. And I will see you again next week. I'm going to go back to practicing some fishing. Come on. Yes. Oh, man. Oh, too late.